Hi, I'm Tricia, an organic gardener, and I'm here with the famous Joe Lampel, author of The Green Gardener Guide, and probably more popular on TV on the show called Growing a Greener World on PBS.
Right,
We are so
you got
lucky
it.
to talk with you.
Oh.
So, the expert, the guru, the gardening guy, what is the most important thing?
There are a few things, but there are two things that I think are highly important. First, it's just put the right plant in the right place. You know, put the plants that love sun in sun, and the plants that love shade in shade. That makes your job a lot easier when it comes to maintenance and pest control. But the other thing that is probably the most important is to spend time on your soil. And I tell gardeners all the time, if you have 10 hours in a day to work on your garden, take 9 of those hours and do the soil, and then one hour to plant everything out, because you will do yourself a huge favor down the road. So feed the soil and let the soil feed the plants.
Okay, what's the best way to feed the soil?
Well, it's adding organic matter. And so where does that come from? Well, it's the shredded leaves, and it's the grass clipping, and it's all the mulch that you should have in your garden. But there's one type of organic matter that is the best of all, and that's compost. Now, and the best thing is, we can make compost at home for free. The challenge is making as much as you want to have for all of your garden, but it's compost.
Yeah. Well, we're standing in front of these beautiful compost
Yeah.
bins. I would love to make my own compost. I don't have time, and I really want to do what you tell me. What should I do?
Well, first of all, don't worry about the time involved, because think about what happens in nature. You go into these forests, they're lush, they smell wonderful. Well, guess what? That's all the organic matter that's breaking down on the forest floor. And there's no involvement from us, right? And nobody's going in there spraying herbicides or pesticides or anything else, and it looks awesome. It's because of all the organic matter. So if we did nothing but take our yard debris and our kitchen scraps and put it into a pile in the corner of our yard and walk away, compost is going to happen. Now, it's going to take a little bit longer that way, and we're always in a hurry, correct?
Yeah.
So we want to speed up the process. Well, how do we do that? Well, we add a little bit of water once a week or so, and we turn it. So we get our fork or our spade, and we turn over the pile. But when you add oxygen and moisture and green waste, which is from the outside, it's your lawn debris and your scraps from the kitchen inside, and then our brown waste, which are leaves and twigs from outside and paper products from inside, that's your magic combination. So you got your greens and your browns, water and air. How much green? 1 part green to 2 parts brown, and that does it.
It's like a little recipe.
Well, it is, and it doesn't have to be complicated, and I think that's one of the things that keeps people from diving into, literally like diving into composting.
I heard you did that once.
I did. I have a thing for compost because I know how good it is for the garden, and it just, we don't want to get
How
it.
can people see you jumping in the compost?
Actually, we have that posted online. If you Googled compost diving, my video would probably come up of that spontaneous moment where I just had to do it.
Okay, everybody, you heard it here. Go there.
Yeah.
So, the other question is, can I buy compost if I truly can't do it myself?
It's an excellent question, and the answer is yes, you can. You can buy it by the bag at your garden center, because so many garden centers today are now aware that we are demanding compost. And so they are getting it from commercial sites that make it in bulk. Now, we could do that too. If we need to buy it by the bag because we have a small garden, it's just from a convenience standpoint, perfectly fine. And actually, you can buy certified compost by the U.S. Composting Council that tells you that what's in the bag doesn't have any contaminants in it, things that we wouldn't want to add to our garden.
That's what I would be concerned about.
Yeah.
So we don't want to buy a compost that perhaps would have pesticide residue.
And it could, especially today, but the theory is that compost gets so hot that it kills off all of those pathogens and all those things that would harm our garden. But you never know, because not everybody is composting the same way. And that's why the certification by the U.S. Composting Council is so important. Look for that. But you can also buy it by the bulk. Most major cities have places that you can go to buy compost by the bulk. And just make sure that you ask the people there if they have certified compost, and then you can even ask to see the spec sheets, which will show you what's in that compost.
Yeah.
So if you really want to be extra vigilant, that's a good way to do that.
Now, one final question. How often do we put compost and how much do we put?
Well, you know, a little bit goes a long way, and you don't need as much as I think a lot of people think that you might need. We strive for 5% organic matter in our soil, because most native soils have very little organic matter, somewhere around 1%. So you want to make up the difference. So if you want to just blend it into the top 10 inches, then an inch of compost is going to be 10%. Well, if we only need 5%, you really only need half an inch, but it breaks down quickly. So we want to continue to replenish that compost a couple times a year at least and work it into the top layer.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I did want to say that we're in front of these beautiful compost bins by Star Apple Gardening. We just love their garden. We love your show.
Thank you.
We're so happy that you were able to talk with us. So watch Growing a Greener World. You can visit with Joe and learn all about his tips and advice for gardening. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
And grow organic for life.